Hi guys, so you've probably heard this press conference from the permanent secretary who has resigned from the Home Office due to an orchestrated bullying campaign. So if you haven't, let's hear what he has to say and then I'll come back with some comments.
I take this decision with great regret after a career of 33 years. I am making this statement now because I will be issuing a claim against the Home Office for constructive dismissal. In the last 10 days, I have been the target of a vicious and orchestrated briefing campaign. It has been alleged that I have briefed the media against the Home Secretary. This, along with many other claims, is completely false. The Home Secretary categorically denied any involvement in this campaign to the Cabinet Office. I regret I do not believe her. She has not made the efforts I would expect to dissociate herself from the comments. Even despite this campaign, I was willing to effect a reconciliation with the Home Secretary, as requested by the Cabinet Secretary on behalf of the Prime Minister. But despite my efforts to engage with her, Priti Patel has made no effort to engage with me to discuss this. I believe that these events give me very strong grounds to claim constructive, unfair dismissal, and I will be pursuing that claim in the courts. My experience has been extreme, but I consider there is evidence that it was part of a wider pattern of behaviour. One of my duties as Permanent Secretary was to protect the health, safety and well-being of our 35,000 people. This created tension with the Home Secretary, and I have encouraged her to change her behaviours. I have received allegations that her conduct has included shouting and swearing, belittling people, making unreasonable and repeated demands, behaviour that created fear and needed some bravery to call out. I know that resigning in this way will have very serious implications for me personally. The Cabinet Office offered me a financial settlement that would have avoided this outcome. I am also aware that there will continue to be briefing against me now I have made this decision. But I am hopeful that at least it may not now be directed towards my colleagues or the department. This has been a very difficult decision, but I hope that my stand may help in maintaining the quality of government in our country, which includes hundreds of thousands of civil servants loyally dedicated to delivering this government's agenda. I will make no further comment at this stage.
Okay, so what is there to say about this? You have Dominic Cummings, who is attempting to root out any civil servant who disagrees with him, and you have the likes of Priti Patel putting unreasonable pressure on civil servants to do what she wants. And this was a brave stance by Sir Philip, who stood up and said, look, I'm not going to take this any longer. And it is quite telling that the government were willing to give him a financial settlement in order not to go to court. If the government were clean, if Priti Patel was completely innocent here, they would say to him, go to court. You have no evidence against her. But of course they would offer him a financial settlement because they are afraid. They're afraid that he's going to go to court, and now he's going to do that. And this is going to be extremely damaging for Boris Johnson's administration, because this is one example. How many hundreds of other examples can you imagine are taking place under people working under Priti Patel? She has complete contempt for people working with her, and a senior member like Sir Philip leaving, and he was abused by her. So you can imagine what, people much further down the chain, the amount of abuse that they have have had to take from her. And of course, they can't speak up because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs. And this, as I've said, related to Dominic Cummings, who's attempting to do the same in other departments. He wants to remove civil servants, senior ones also, and put in his own people. And if they don't, the people who remain don't want to follow his lead, they'll be probably sacked. And Boris Johnson will support Dominic Cummings in doing this. I think we're starting to see some cracks appear. Now, it's going to be interesting what Boris Johnson is going to do next. Is he going to fire Priti Patel? Because she's a liability at this stage. The longer she stays there, the more damage she's going to do. Even if she doesn't do any more, even if she stops her behavior, which I don't think she will do. She's an arrogant piece of whatever. So her behavior is not going to change. It's ingrained in her. She has complete contempt for anyone but herself. So unless she's removed, this behavior is going to continue. It's going to get worse, and more people are probably going to step forward and say, look, we're going to go to court against the government, take the government to court over this. I hope they do. There's no reason for treating civil servants, employees in this way. People should be treated with respect. Of course, the Tories, this Tory government in particular, has zero respect for civil servants, members of the public, whoever. And it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen after this. So I think this is starting the ball rolling. I think the cracks are starting to appear now. And you could see a cascade of complaints and court cases taking place after this. So I have to commend Sir Philip for standing up and for taking one for his team. He's not someone who took the money and ran. He's someone who's saying, look, I'm going to be principled and I'm going to stand up for the people who work under me. This is a true leader. It's a true manager, someone who cares about the people who have worked with him. Saying, look, I can't deal with this person. This person is above me, but the only way I can deal with it is by resigning and taking the government to court. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you agree with me or disagree with me, or what do you think is going to happen next. Thanks. If you like the content on this channel, why not click subscribe and ring the bell to get updates when a new video drops.